Yo, what's the damn deal, chat? We back. If you're on Facebook, I can't read your comments. If you want me to read your comments, you got to come over here to YouTube. So, and then plus I left my phone in my wife's car, so I don't have my phone to check if they are commenting on Facebook, but I'm just saying if you're watching this on Facebook and you're wondering why I'm not answering your comments is cuz I can't see them through Restream. But if you do want your comments read or whatever you want to interact, engage, or whatever the hell, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that
involved with Scientology. I thought she was a devout worshiper of herself. Another person wrote that Jennifer claimed her father was a Scientologist for years. And it appears that this is about Jennifer Lopez and Leah Remini, who Leah Remini is an actress who's been incredibly outspoken against this cult, and there's been even a show made about it. Reports write that Leah and her best friend J-Lo have reconciled amidst the pop star's marital issues after the palace had a falling out over her marriage to Ben Affleck. Sources tell Page Six that the longtime friends got into a fight before J-Lo and Ben got married in 2022 over Leah's concerns about Ben. Leah warned J-Lo to remember the reason why she originally broke up with Ben when they first dated in 2002.
I didn't know they were friends.
Because he is selfish and not fully committed as a partner, says the source. Because Leah wasn't supportive, J-Lo did not like to hear this, so she cut off all ties and did not even invite her to their wedding. They did have a PR excuse at the time. Actually, Leah's people put out a comment saying that she was busy helping her daughter get off to college, but that's not the real reason. J-Lo didn't even invite her. Now that J-Lo and Ben are on the rocks and rumors of a divorce are making headlines, our source says
how many times is she gonna get married, bro? How many times is she gonna get married?
They were best friends for years. She wants to reach out to her, but she can't just call up and say, "I told you so." Ooh, that's harsh. In September 2023, Michelle Visage asked Leah Remini if she was still friends with J-Lo, and she replied, "No comment" at the time. Leah Remini and Jennifer Lopez met back in 2004 when J-Lo began dating Mark Anthony. J-Lo was speaking about her friendship with Leah and said it was one of those instant chemistry things where you just feel like, I love this person, I love being around this person makes me laugh. In 2018, Leah Remini was quoted saying that we're very close, like sisters, but in a different way that sisters are. Of course, people have been asking for a comment from their teams, but they're not saying anything.
If you're watching these documentaries about J-Lo, she was a apologist. Don't know if she still is. Don't know if that's her MO anymore. I don't know if she drug Ben down the rabbit hole with her. I'm not sure. But she started off as a mini major little apologist when she talks about her mom being a narcissist and not very close to her mom. Her mom was a apologist. Why is no one talking about that? Like, J-Lo grew up in apology. She is a raging bitch. She grew up in apology. So did Leah. Okay, but Leah, she's got the brains about her. She's got the beauty. She's got the talent. She got out and she tries to help people. J-Lo and her used to be best friends. What happened? Why does J-Lo not talk about denouncing apology?
I have to admit, recently I Googled myself because I was trying to see what information was out there about me, and I was shocked. It is disturbing how much data can be leaked on the internet. This got me thinking about privacy and why it's so important to protect your data.
Well, we are learning now that federal investigators are in possession of video footage that was taken inside of Combs's residence. We hear that these investigators have been contacting individuals that they have seen on this footage. One person, in addition to the accusers who have filed these civil suits, is a male sex worker. That is what a source tells me, and that they have been brought in for questioning through these federal
What's poppin', y'all? It looks like we're cooking this year. Or actually, no, we're getting served the cooking this year because we kicked it off in the beginning of the year. Diss track between Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion dropped Hiss. That went #1. Then we've got, obviously, Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. But in between that, we also had a bunch of other beefs. We had Chris Brown and Quavo. I feel like there was another one
Finesse
between
2 times
January
and
that
NBA
probably is
Youngboy.
escaping my mind. But now we've got Cardi B and Bia stacking up. So if you don't remember, obviously you know who Cardi B is. If you don't remember Bia, she initially blew up with her song. What was the song called?
There's a whole lot of
And then
money.
Nicki Minaj got on the remix to the Whole Lot of Money song. This is maybe 2020. I would say this is 2020. Blows the song up to another level. And from there, she had a really, really big song with Russ. I think that was Best on Earth. And then she had London with J. Cole. She's a good rapper. She's been doing her thing. Yet, for some reason, she has beef with Cardi B. I came acquainted with this when I saw a post where Cardi B rapped in a verse with Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion, the song Wanna Be, which I haven't listened to the song. I just read the verse. And in the verse she raps, guess I'm a teacher since you want to sub me. She did what? Had no idea. Thought she was on the shelf, Ikea. Hope she talk like that when I see her. Please don't nobody want to be her. Play on Bia, obviously. And a lot of us were confused. Like, yo, what does this beef even come from? And Cardi B did us the favor of hopping on IG Live and sitting down and explaining it for 15 minutes. And I would recommend none of you to watch this. I sat through it. I suffered so you didn't have to. I just took all the arrows. It's like the meme with the guy with his arms out. I'm just taking those arrows because there are some people that, like, we've got tall people in the world. We've got short people in the world. We've got really, really pale people, you know, all the way up north in the world. We've got really, really dark people near the equator. We've got really, really strong people, people that gain a lot of muscle. We've got people that are very, very skinny, very unlikely to ever really grow strong. We've got people that are fast. We've got people that are slow, and we've got people that are smart, and we've got people that are dumb. And Cardi B, without a doubt, 100% is a dunce. Just, my goodness. And that's not an insult. It's like I say, like, there are certain people that are tall, there are certain people that are short. Cardi B's strong suit is just not intelligence, intellect. She's not even of basic average intelligence. She's below. Maybe
that, fam.
Significantly below.
Shout out
Regardless,
Trenches
though,
Politics
she
TV.
made herself a very, very, very lucrative career. She is a hard worker when she wants to be. I always gave her props for putting her family and her firstborn
to you, gang.
Her. Hey, leave her alone. Oh my God. Oh, he fucking shot her. Oh my God.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to Trenches Politics TV. We know you definitely politicking from the trenches. Let's get it. The police were called to a house a day before a deadly Philly neighbor dispute. A woman is dead after an alleged dispute between neighbors that ended with a shooting in Philadelphia on Tuesday. The suspect has been identified as 64-year-old William Pulliver. He is accused of shooting and killing his neighbor, 65-year-old Patricia Shin. It all happened just after noon on Tuesday in the 7100 block of Montague Street in Tacony. Neighbors say they saw the accused shooter pull out a gun during one of the many arguments between him and the victim that had before, but this time in return, it was deadly. Neighbor Anna Marie Waltermate said they had been going back and forth nitpicking with each other for the past two years, but it all escalated to this point where they're shoving each other, and now it's deadly. Another witness said Pulver was arguing with Shin in her backyard when people nearby heard gunshots. Then Action News has been told Shin's husband came home with groceries and found her dead. Some neighbors like Walterman said, we knew it was going to happen. He had a gun. He had said it before, verbally though. Action News says police officers were called to the scene for reports of a neighbor's dispute and shots fired. At the scene, they found Shin dead from gunshot wounds. Pulver had apparently gone inside a nearby property and refused to come out when police arrived, leading to officers declaring a barricade situation. It took about 5 times. He came out with his hands up, and then they put him in a vehicle. The Scroll recalled, I couldn't believe something like this happened here. A neighbor recorded it on his cell phone, Pulver being taken into custody around 1:20 p.m. They also say police have been called to the area.
This was torture, this was abuse. My nephew was on the brink of death.
These two people are in jail tonight, charged with felony child abuse, and a 17-year-old's in a local hospital after nearly dying. His body is covered in bruises, cuts, scars, and his face is nearly unrecognizable. This is Fox 4 News at 10 o'clock. I'm Kevin Barry.
And I'm Bria Love. That teenager now in the fight of his life. In a story you'll only see on Fox 4, his aunt is sharing the gripping details of how this teen was finally freed from what he had been put through. Fox 4's Malik Jackson live at the Jackson County
crazy ass people out there, man.
These adults will soon face charges for abuse. Malik, this is so disturbing. We actually had to blur some of the images.
And Kevin, doctors told the boys this is the worst case of child abuse they've ever seen. Police say that there's evidence that this teenage boy was tied up and beaten so badly that he's now on a ventilator. This family desperately praying that he pulls through. This as investigators say that one of the defendants admitted that the abuse had been going on for at least 6 months.
If people were to see my nephew in person, you would have to be inhumane not to cry.
Bro, what did they do?
It did not look like that of someone who's living.
James Griffin and Penny Woods now charged with abuse or neglect of a child, causing serious emotional or physical injury. These crimes said to have taken place at this Raytown home. In a probable cause statement obtained by Fox 4, investigators explain in great detail what this 17-year-old endured. He showed up to the hospital Friday, his body covered in cuts, bruises, and abrasions, one of his ears nearly swollen shut due to an infection. He was missing nearly all of his teeth. Doctors noticed the teen had an altered mental state. He was malnourished, was suffering from hypothermia, a fracture in his spine, second-degree burns to his forehead. Fluid had built up in his lungs. He showed signs that he had been tied up at some point, and his shoulder blades in such bad shape that doctors told police they had only seen that in high trauma cases, such as a high-speed car crash.
You look on the news and you see that happen to people outside in these other cities, and you're like, man, that wouldn't happen in Kansas City. I just think of these two criminals. They're disgusting, despicable people.
Now, to be clear, these two people are not these teens' parents. The reason that they took custody of him and his sister was because their mother was dealing with an addiction problem. Both Penny Woods and James will be back in court on June 12th for a bond review hearing. The prosecutor's office here in Jackson County says more charges are possible. As for this teenager, he is still in the hospital, but he's slowly turning the corner. Today, he spoke his first words since being in the hospital, and he will celebrate his 18th birthday next week. As for his sister, she's currently with Dee Porter, her aunt, and she is doing the very best that she can.
Okay, why did you talk like that? What's going on, man? What do y'all want to talk about?
Most dental offices are stuck in the past. Outdated technology, inconvenient hours, and uncomfortable procedures.
We had spoke on Trump being indicted on the last interview. Pulled up, had to take a mug shot and everything out there in Fulton County. Fonnie Willis, the same lady that is, the DA, going at the YSL and other alleged gang members in the Atlanta area and things like that.
Right.
Well, it was a lot of people that got picked up on the Donald Trump case, but they starting to cooperate on him. His lawyers, they did put out the video of their interrogation where they agreeing to cooperate and telling what Trump did and things with the election.
Tonight, ABC News has obtained excerpts of confidential videotaped interviews of two alleged co-conspirators charged along with former President Trump in Georgia. The two attorneys in these videos have now turned and are cooperating with authorities. Sidney Powell, who once claimed that dead Hugo Chavez was one of the reasons behind Trump's loss, and Jenna Ellis cut plea deals on reduced charges in exchange for their cooperation, giving interviews to prosecutors.
We're here with a proffer witness, Jenna Ellis.
Ellis, who falsely claimed ballots were manipulated, recounting a time at the 2020 White House Christmas party when she said Trump aide Dan Scavino told her Trump planned to simply refuse to leave the White House.
He said to me in a kind of excited tone, well, we don't care and we're not going to leave.
Ellis said she asked him, what do you mean?
He said the boss is not going to leave under any circumstances. We are just going to stay in power.
An attorney for Trump called the purported conversation meaningless since he did ultimately leave the White House. Sidney Powell also told prosecutors Trump was determined to stay in power, despite his aides repeatedly telling him he lost.
What was President Trump's reaction when, I guess, this cadre of advisors would say you lost?
It was like, well, they would say that and then they'd walk out and he'd go, see, this is what I deal with all the time.
Trump has pleaded not guilty and denied wrongdoing. After Powell's guilty plea, they both denied she was his lawyer. But Powell told prosecutors Trump knew she was one of the few willing to support him.
I was the most experienced federal practitioner in the group. Did I know anything about election law? No.
Powell pushed that outrageous conspiracy theory that voting machines were controlled by Venezuela, even pointing a finger at former dictator Hugo Chavez, who died nearly a decade earlier.
This was exported from Venezuela and by Maduro.
So when you see that, what come to your mind, man?
Foul on the play. The whistleblowers. That's what they call them. No, we call them snitches. In my hood, we call them snitches. In they hood, they call them the whistleblowers. Blowing the whistle. Hey, come on, man. Another blindfold over the world's eyes, nigga. The Trump case. Something going on that we can't see. A lot of trials going on. God, Trump, Trump, man, listen, man. I bet, you know what I bet Trump got? All court-appointed attorneys, too. What you think?
You said court-appointed? Why would he get caught up on?
Nah, just playing, man. I bet he got all caught up on his attorneys too. I mean, just like, you might as well. You know, you going to jail. Now I just had to throw that in. That's a sarcastic ball. Man.
Rappers want to be on it, so do aspiring video vixens. Sometimes they make news. Always, the World Star Hip Hop website is a must-see for hundreds of thousands of viewers every day.
Butter.
There really is a tale of two world stars. To one generation, World Star was a website that we could see some of the most controversial content on the internet.
The punch scene at the beginning of this video is disturbing to watch, and it only gets worse.
To another generation, they likely remember World Star as a place to see the newest music premieres.
I don't know when I'm a flip nigga. Give me some codeine and sip nigga. Bad bitch, yeah, I want to do coke. I want the money, that's why I need more. Why you keep that tool like that?
But to both of these groups, World Star is now looked at as hip-hop's MySpace. For better or worse, World Star was a platform that many of us have memories about, but it seems as a collective, the culture has moved on.
Got a special guest with us this morning.
That's right, it's family right here. Our dog Q from World Star. What up,
What up, Q?
Founded by Mr. World Star Hip Hop himself, Lee Q O'Donnell. The World Star we grew to know wouldn't fully form until 2008. In the years prior, the website originated as a place where Q would sell 50 Cent and G-Unit mixtapes with his childhood friend, DJ Who Kid. But the online mixtape space was quickly being dominated by places like thatpiff.com. During a down period in 2007 when the website was hacked, Q was inspired by YouTube, who in 2006 got sold to Google for $1.6 billion. And seeing Soulja Boy launch a career off a viral video, this led Q to pivot and create a street version of YouTube.
2 years after the founders set up shop over a pizza parlor, they're headed for $1 billion payday.
You know, seeing the space with YouTube, you know what I mean, the success of YouTube back then when they got signed with Google, and I noticed that everything's gonna be going towards videos, you know what I'm saying? Because I was one of the first cats to do a mixtape sites in 01. And then I was like, yo, this, you know, it's too saturated right now. Let me go ahead and think of the next curves.
Unlike other hip hop sites at that time, World Star wouldn't rely on articles and would focus purely on video content. The original concept was for music premieres, but one of the key factors in World Star's rise was its reliance on user-submitted content. Anyone could submit videos, whether it's rap battles, freestyles, or street fights. Videos that would get flagged and removed from YouTube 9 times out of 10 found its place on World Star. In a lot of ways, the website was the blueprint for things we see on social media today. Fights, twerking, police confrontations, vlogs, music videos. World Star soon became the guilty pleasure of the culture.
What if some people feel, well, I'm gonna go do some ratchet stuff to get on World Star?
Well, the thing is that it does bring awareness. So if you're gonna get your 15-minute fame of doing that, or climbing a building and jumping off just to get your fame, you know, that's foolishness. And I can't control that foolishness of individuals that want to go seek fame by, you know, cop chasings, you know, run through highway, you know, pull over. I'm not pulling over because they see it. You know, Roger did it, other stars did it. So I can't control the masses' minds as far as I just want to bring awareness to the masses.
Alright, look, I say, call me Dookie, I'll walk up in the club, what's happening? Bitches, when they see me, oh my god, they steady clapping it. Niggas know what it is on my hand, they just be snapping it. But guess what, baby girl, me and your pussy, that's what's happening.
As the site grew, Q doubled down on giving the audience what they wanted, which was more salacious content. But this built an opposing side of people, labeling World Star as bad for hip-hop and exploitative to black culture. Q often argued that he was no different from a street rapper, holding a mirror up to society and showing what's really going on. Political pundit Bill O'Reilly started to target World Star hip-hop in 2008 after videos of kids threatening former presidents. These videos were removed from YouTube, but of course it remained on World Star. Bill O'Reilly criticized the website for promoting violence and exploiting the incident for entertainment
what everybody
purposes.
else does.
He called for a boycott of companies that advertised on World Star.
Originally showed up on YouTube and was banned, and it showed up on this World Star hip hop site, and it's about 8 minutes of this kid ranting. It's really disgusting. It's really frightening.
It's child abuse. It's crime. This is a crime. If this were an adult, the Secret Service would arrest the adult. Now, I believe the Secret Service should arrest the parents of this kid and the purveyor of the website. We know who put this on there. This guy Q, right? We know that.
Yeah, he's the guy who's in charge of the site. And
so the FBI.
Unison.
Sound Doctor?
Yo, Sound Doctor. That shit fire, bro.
Let's go. Melodies.
The FBI should be interviewing this guy.
Controversy led to more eyes on the site. By 2009, World
Star Hip Hop.
It's time for Donkey of the Day.
It's a read, but you're so good at it.
You're trying to be a fake ass Charlemagne. There's only one Charlemagne to go.
Damn, Charlemagne, who you giving Donkey of the Day to now?
Well, Sexy Red, Donkey of the Day for Thursday, June 6th goes to Corey Harris. Before I give Corey Harris the final boss credit he deserves for being stupid, I must take back hee-haws I gave to the Honorable Judge Cedric Simpson. Take it back, Eddie. I gotta take back the one I gave to the Saginaw friend of the court and the Secretary of State of Michigan. Take it back for them too, please. Basically, everyone that Corey Harris lied on in regards to his case of driving under a suspended license, okay? I can't believe we are here again. I gave Corey Harris and the judge donkey, then I took back Corey's donkey and gave the judge hee-haw again and added the Saginaw friend of the court, all because Corey lied. Now, if you've been following the timeline, then you know on May 30th, I gave Corey Harris and Judge Cedric Simpson donkey of the day because Corey was in virtual court for driving with a suspended license, but he was on the video in the courtroom driving. Yes, I repeat, he was in virtual court for a suspended license, and he was on the video driving. Let's go to local news 4 for the original report, please.
Ever since some court proceedings went on Zoom, you really never know what to expect, and this judge did not see this coming.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. Just give me 1 second.
You can see the shock on his face. Judge Cedric Simpson nearly speechless. The defendant, Corey Harris, had a suspended license, yet joined the court proceeding from behind the wheel. The judge needed to get some things straight.
I'm looking at his record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washtenaw County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
Sitting there looking stupid. That should have been it, by the way. Now, the reason I gave the judge donkey was because I felt he should have had some sympathy for Corey because when we thought Corey was telling the truth, you know, he said he was going to the doctor. And you can clearly see he has high blood pressure, high cholesterol, probably a little bit of diabetes, and a whole lot of Beetlejuice around the eyes. You know Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show. Now, Corey came back a couple days ago and said it was the court's fault. Corey said he was actually a victim of a clerical error, and his suspension should have been lifted 2 years ago. Liar! Let's go to 7 News Detroit for the report, please.
I was thinking about getting my wife medical help.
Corey Harris said that's why he was behind the wheel earlier this month when he appeared before district court.
Man, that's ridiculous.